Ladies and gentlemen, Josh Sanch here, your host here on the Bodybuilding News Network. We have a collage of the competitors that are going to be competing at this coming weekend's 2023 Charlotte Cup Classic, or the Charlotte Cup in the Classic Physique division. We will run through each individual athlete to include their Instagram tags, if I have it, in the description of the video. Feel free to help yourself to the stock photos I've collaborated for you. They are on Instagram. If you want to use them in your own videos, do feel welcome and free to do that. I will not copy strike you, but pretty excited, honestly, genuinely pretty excited about the lineup for this show. I have a lot of quite a few people on here that I know personally, so I think this is going to be a phenomenal show. Now, I did want to start off backwards. We're going to start off with James J. Yount, Jount, who won his pro card at last year's Junior Nationals. I believe it's the Junior Nationals, right? One of the most potential packed physiques I can think of. Amazing structure. In my opinion, I know I don't have a lot of time to talk about him, but I would have him in the top 6. I think he's going to be a young up-and-comer and a dark horse for the show. Lamar Shaw, good friend of mine, co-host of the Classic Kings podcast here on BNN, an Olympian after this last year, placing outside the top 16, but still a very competitive bodybuilder. I do believe he competed at this show last year, and he won one of the shows around the same time frame, so expect to see him in the first call-out. Probably, if I'm going to be predicting it, he's going to be a top 3 finisher, if not winning the whole gosh darn thing. Next up, we have a guy I'm not too familiar with. Looks like he does some sort of NPC media personalities type stuff, and that's going to be Mr. Jeffrey Robbins. He also goes by Kebeli Robbins on Instagram. So he did not post too many physique updates coming into this show, and I was not able to find his NPC scorecard. So if you do have photos of him, please share them with me. Not sure where he's going to land in this call out, but of course, best of luck to the guy. I think he looks great. Damien Patrick just did the Fit World, just barely missed the win here. Another guy I think is going to be in the top 3. You heard it right, and I said it right now. I think that Mr. Damien Patrick will be in the top 3 here at the Charlotte Cup. He has the structure, very bodybuilder-esque, very complete. He doesn't have any weaknesses. If anything, he just needs to bring in the conditioning just a tad bit more from the back, and I think this could be a good win for him in this early season. Next up, we have Olushomo Oni. And this guy actually is really impressive. He placed second 2 years ago, I believe, at the Tampa Pro. A little bit older gentleman, but crazy potential, great structure, amazing lats, phenomenal conditioning, some of the best conditioning we're going to see at this show. I'd say he needs a little bit more depth and thickness in the lower body from the back, but overall, I think he's a great representation of what classic physique can be over the years, and I wish him the best of luck. A very, very newcomer, Mr. Kelvin Ogbebor. Apologies. Another new pro coming into the show. I believe this is his pro debut. Very excited to see how he does and see the improvements he's made over the last year since winning his pro card. And I believe he won multiple divisions, one to include the middleweight that you can see here on the screen. One of these guys, I think if he's in the top 10, he's going to be really happy with that finish. David Kampfe is the next guy. Excuse me. I always get coughs after I eat. I don't know what's wrong with me. A good-looking physique, nice flow. I'd like to see a little bit more conditioning, and I'd like to see just a little bit more density, a little bit more roundness of the muscle. I think he might have over-dieted just a little bit for this showing. These photos are from 2018, so it's hard to say what to expect from him in 2023. A guy who I couldn't find on Instagram, but really nice structure and a lot of potential is Mr. Jaisson. I'll leave it there. The last name is Jagadeeswaran. I shouldn't have tried, but I did anyways. Very, very nice structure. He looks like a taller gentleman, so I'm wondering how this physique is going to translate into the open stage, as well as him being a Masters competitor. Another complication that he might have to battle it out with some of these younger guys and some of these bigger guys. Good friend of the show, Mr. IFBB Pro _ Sporty, aka Barry Irving, is another competitor that will be doing this show. He did go by another name, and I just don't have the note with me right now. I think on his scorecard, the name is different, so do keep that in mind when you guys are looking him up. He does have a different name on Instagram, so keep that in mind. Like his physique, not sure where he's going to land in this lineup. Another Masters competitor coming to the show. Some of the craziest proportions we're going to see on this stage is Mr. Tony A. Harris. Again, Masters competitor, but he is not lacking anything. This guy is, in my opinion, a classic physique Dexter Jackson. The completeness, the tiny midsection, the great flowing quads, the crazy lat width, and then arms. I mean, he's not lacking anything. If anything, a tad bit of chest development could help him, but I'm excited to see where he lands. Jared Feathers, really cool guy, a absolute master when it comes to training, nutrition, and philosophy in the world of bodybuilding, a Renaissance periodization coach, I still believe so, and also the coach of our good friend Dylan White, Mr. Natty Gone NPC. I like Jared. He placed around 8th at his last show at Texas, I believe. So I'm excited to see him land around the first call out, if not top 10. Good luck, Jared. Daniil Famponte, a.k.a. the Black Rambo. This guy, top 6, guaranteed. He placed, I believe, 4th at the Fit World, and I thought he did a phenomenal job. He almost looks like he's a men's physique come classic. Great upper body, very, very wide, but still competitive legs. I'd like to see him hit a front double, please, at this coming show so we can get a good comparison for the next one. But, of course, good luck to him. Shurandy Doran is the next competitor on the list, winning his pro card at the NPC Universe just last year. Should be another pro debut. I think he has a lot of potential, great structure. I say it a lot, but this guy really does have good structure. Looks like a taller guy, so I'll be wondering to see how he fills this frame out in the last year, as these photos were from last year, 2022. And we have a Konur Denli. I think someone said he was something the comedian. I couldn't figure it out on Instagram, so I do apologize. But another looks like a tall guy, did bodybuilding, turned pro at the same show, the NPC Universe last year in 2022. I think he has some good potential. Some of the better conditioning you're going to see in the quads at this show, dice to the socks, glutes. I'd like to see a little bit more thickness in the back, but overall, I think he looks pretty darn phenomenal. A competitor I was a little confused on, Konur Denli. Oh, no, we just talked about Konur Denli. This one is Rodrigo Coehlo. Not really sure where we're going to see him in this lineup. The photos were kind of iffy. He looks like he was a little too depleted from these photos that we did find. But of course, you never really can tell with some of these physique updates. And of course, these photos being old, again, another reason why we have a hard time finding it out. Mr. Fireman 122, aka Michael Bell, coming into this show. We did get to see him at the one and only Boston Pro last year. I do believe outside the top 10. Of course, no disrespect if I messed that up, Mr. Bell. Not sure where we're going to see him in the lineup, but a top 10 finish I think would be very, very good for him in his camp. Nice structure, but I'd like to see more conditioning from the back. Our good friend Justin Badurina, coming off of a food poisoning the morning of the Fit World, still placed top 5. I'm going to have him as my pick to win this show if he peaks perfectly. He has, I think the package and physique that he brings to the stage is not even competitive outside of the Olympia. I think he's a top 10 Olympia finisher this year. He just needs to make it to the stage, and he needs to make the peak perfect. He's my pick to win. Best of luck, Justin. Love you, man. Thomas Allen, a guy I'm not too familiar with. I'd like to see a little bit of a smile. Jared Keys, keep taking notes. You guys got to smile. You got to look like you're enjoying the stage. Definitely a bodybuilder through and through, but it does look like I think he looks phenomenal for classic as well. Maybe add a little bit more classic-esque posing to to his presentation, and I think he could go a long way in the world of bodybuilding, especially when we look at classic physique. A young up-and-comer, I'm really excited for this guy. I'd like to see him in the top 10, is Mr. Tomas Adam is what he goes by, but it also has Hernandez on his scorecard. Young up-and-comer guy, looks phenomenal, amazing vacuum. I don't know how much size he has. He looks like a smaller gentleman, looks like a shorter statured fella, but of course, if he brings just the right amount of conditioning and makes improvements on his last time we saw him, I think he could be competitive in this lineup. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed the complete run-through of the complete lineup as of Monday when the scorecard came out. You never know. Some people do hop in at the last minute, depending on whether or not they think the lineup is deep enough, or maybe they think they have a shot to win, or maybe they have a shot to just look well. I'm excited to cover this show. I'll also be covering the muscle contest / Spectrum show in person at Santa Clara at the Evo Expo. I got my press pass approved, so I will be covering that show in conjunction as well as the Charlotte Pro. So stay tuned for all of my live coverage of both shows here on the Bodybuilding News Network. Make sure you follow us on Instagram for the most up-to-date information of all things bodybuilding and fitness. I'm your host, Josh Sanch. Please pay the algorithm your sacrifices with a comment, and I'll see you beautiful people, best looking fans in bodybuilding, in the next video.